Hello, runners. This is Coach Bala here. Congratulations on finishing the second week of warm up. Oh my God. The season has already started rolling, and you guys are on it, and we are already finishing 2 weeks. What that means is starting next week, the regular season starts. The idea of warm up was just, as the name suggests, just getting your body warmed up a little bit in this for the training regimen, getting your watches, shoes, everything sorted out. And now that you've done all of that, I hope that you're now connected with your coach. You've had your first sort of connect with them, or maybe multiple connects with them. Those of you who are in the light program, you are gotten into the rhythm of looking at final surge and understanding what it is for next time. All of that is done, and now we will be ready from Monday onwards to roll out the regular season. So, as part of that, I also want to tell you, please be sure, make sure that you are on top of these messages. Every week, I'll be sending message. It will be context specific. That means it will be a message that helps you for the next week. It's not a message that if you listen 3 weeks later because you're backed up, it might not be that useful because I'm using this kind of live, quasi live to help you think about it. That will help you do the training next week. Okay. So it is specific from a time standpoint. Yes, you can maybe delay it into the weekday. Maybe best way is to listen to it when you are running. That is why we upload it in Spotify and various audio podcast platforms as well, so that you don't have to see. You can literally put it in your a year, and 15-20 minutes you are done. But not only you are listening when you're running, you are thinking about it. The goal is for you to think about it. When you start thinking about it, basic things will fall into place, and that's really what coaching is all about. Yeah. So for today, I want to talk about two things. One is what I'm going to call it as the art of winter training. And the second bullet point I want to talk about is the science of CP run, conversational pacing run. These are the two elements that I want to talk about and touch on. Both are foundationally important for you to have a successful season. Now, let us talk about the winter training. Now, the uber question is, can I run outside in peak winter when it is cold, etc.? Is it even advisable? Can I do it? Have I the ability to do it? Or is it stupidity to run outside? These are the sort of questions that we need to answer correctly. So I want to start off by putting a simple framework where you should not run, under what conditions you should not be running outside. Let's start with that. My suggestion, based on my years of experience and seeing others run in winter as well, is when the temperatures are sub-zero, conditions are icy, and or there is a lot of wind, just forget about it. Don't unnecessarily take the pain of braving the conditions and running like that. Because when it is windy, it's just super cold, your face gets frozen sometimes, roads are icy, there could be a black ice, you might slip and fall, and it is just not a good experience if that is a scenario like that. Last week in the East Coast, it was like that. It's windy, it's a 20 degrees Fahrenheit, like -6, -7 degrees Celsius, and it was very windy. There was a lot of black ice in the road. So there's just no point in running outside and killing yourself. Let's not waste our time. Just use plain common sense. Definitely run inside. Indoor tracks are there, treadmills, gyms, that type of stuff. But if we remove these conditions during winter, times when you can definitely run, and not only run, have a brilliant experience. Those are when temperatures are cold. Let me call it like anywhere between 32 to 50 degrees, just above 0 to 10 degrees Celsius. Very cold still. Maybe there is some snow as well. It's not icy, but there is snow accumulated on the sides of the road, or sometimes a light layer of snow is there, but it's not icy. It's not too windy. It's cold. You can't like walk out and generally have a good time. It is cold, but you can definitely run outside, and not only run outside, you can have a great time, provided you are properly clothed. Okay, so that's what they say. There is nothing called as too cold. It is only, are you dressed properly for the run or not? If you're dressed properly, then you are ready for having a brilliant run, extremely enjoyable run. Because what happens is, and the conditions that I was telling you, when you run outside, Yes, it'll be cold outside, but your body is generating a lot of heat. And if you're wearing the right clothes, those heat is contained inside the ecosystem that is your, the clothing that you have. So you are feeling warm and fuzzy and beautiful. You will enjoy that feeling. I enjoy it. My runs are really good in that environment because it is not too hot. Your heart rate is also not going up too much. Problem on summer training is your heart rate is very high because heart has to work extra hard to cool down the body. Here that requirement is not there, so heart rate is, for the same pace, everything same. Your heart rate probably will be less by 5 to 10 units, beats per minute. Yeah, so everything is in place. You just have to make sure you have the right clothing. Now, what do you mean by right clothing? Again, basic common sense. But this is what I have. I have always said in one place, I have a balaclava, so it covers the whole thing, including my mouth, everything. It's a balaclava. It's not just, I don't just go with the monkey cap. It just covers the whole thing up to here so that you feel really warm. Most of the heat is in the head, so you don't want to release the heat away. You contain it. That is one. Then always couple of layers. So one inner layer, one outer layer. If I need a third layer also, but 2 layers is more than enough for me. Similarly, on the bottom, there is, you have that thick skin. It's like a skinny kind of running tracksuit, thick one, which I bought it in the running show. Whenever I go to any race day expos, you get it. Brilliant material. It's a little thick. It hugs to your sort of, it looks like a yoga pant. So you wear that, and then on top of that, you can wear a shorts. That is more than enough. And of course, you have a nice thick socks with a shoe. You can have a jacket if the second outer layer can be a jacket. And there are some nice running jacket where it has a small slot on the front. So you just put your fan on top of that. So it's like fully covering it. It doesn't go back like that. And then, of course, the gloves. You do this, you will have an excellent run. You can run outside without any problem. Okay, that's what I would say. Always think about running. Think of it as a temperature plus 5 to 10 degrees is what you should be thinking. So if the temperature is plus 5 Fahrenheit right now, think that it is plus 15 because it'll get heated up. Your body gets heated up, so you got to run accordingly. So that's what I would say. And it's winter running is something I always get into what I call it as a zone running in winter running because it's a little darkish outside. You don't see too many people disturbing you. So you are in your zone, you're already cocooned in your clothing. Because you're already cocooned in your clothing, most of the times I run with my eyes almost 80-90% shut. All I'm looking for is on the road just to make sure there's no ice or snow in the road, just to be safe. And I do that, so I'm in the zone. It's like a meditative state of running. And typically when in winter training, I don't even look at my watch. I just look by feel. I run by feel. And before I know, the run is over. And normally when I look at it, the run is fantastic. And that's why I enjoy winter training. And you guys should try it out. Don't be afraid of the winter. Just make sure you're dressed properly. And once you experience it, you don't need me to convince you again. Okay. So that's the sort of the art of winter training that I want all of you to think about. Now let us talk about CP, the foundational running setup that we all will be thinking about: conversational pace running, or the pace run. This is something that we use all the time. Those of us who have done this before, it's a common term. This will keep coming again and again. 80% or up to 80% of your runs are CP runs. We expect you to do it because this is the sort of platform stamina building phase of running. CP. What really happens in a CP run is you are running in a state where you are able to hold a conversation when you are running. For some who are starting new, it probably the slowest jog may be a CP. It's even possible that even that could not be a CP where you have to walk in between. Fine, that's totally fine. But the goal is, are you able to hold a conversation? Now, how does a run look like when you're not able to hold a conversation? It'll be something like this. So when I'm running, I'm not able to speak. See, this is not a conversational pace running. Conversational pace running is like how I am speaking right now, but imagine I'm running. That is conversational pace running. And it is not easy to get it. It'll take some time. The key here is to slow it down and run as per the definition. So what we suggest is always time to time when you're running, sing a song, a happy birthday song or anything that you know the song. And are you able to sing a song and maintain the tune? If you're not able to sing the song, not able to complete the sentence, or not able to maintain the tune, that means you're not in conversational pace running. So you got to slow it down. Very simple. Nothing more to it. Most of your runs are in conversational pace running. You nail the conversational pace running. You nail not only the race that you're training for, you nail your entire running career. This is the foundation in which many other things will happen. Okay, so all I want you to do in the first 3 weeks of this training, the first meso cycle, first 3 weeks is called one meso. The first 3 weeks of meso cycle, your point is to entirely focus on creating the training element, which to ensure that you're able to do conversational pace running. Okay, that's what I want you all to do. Check it out. Folks who are returning will find it difficult because of the break. So again, slow it down. Don't go by any past metrics. Go by what your body is telling you right now, because a conversational pace changes from day to day, season to season, mood to mood, how you have slept previous night. It has got so many things. There is no one specific day and speed in which you will be able to do a conversational pace. You got to go by feel. In fact, many of the coaches would say, don't even look at your watch. Just go by feel. And based on your feel, if you're able to nail it, then you will be able to do a good conversational pace running. And we will talk about the benefits of conversational pace later on. But for today, it's just about introducing to you the concept of conversational pace and ensuring that this is something we all should nail together. And one downside of conversational pace is, for some, it might get boring because you got to run slowly and it appears that the run is never ending. That is the training. That is the training. In fact, if you do conversational pace very well, very soon, you will not even realize you are running. You are just like, you remember the winter, closing your eyes 80% and run, I told you. That's what will happen. You close your eyes in 80% of the time, and you are just running, and you don't realize that the body is not even, taking on anything. And you're just running, and before you know that, you are in the zone. You are in the meditative zone. And in that meditational zone, you don't realize that you are eating distances, and then before you know, you're done, and you look at your watch and it appears like this beautiful line, straight line. I'm talking about not for the new runners, but I'm talking about the return runners. New runners, you might need to stop for a minute in between, walk it out. And anyway, our training is like that. We do break runs only, because you're slowly climbing up the ladder to get into a continuous conversational pace run, which is what we will do. So summary for today is winter training. I've told you situations, conditions where you should not do running outside. And then I've explained to you when you can run outside. And then finally, I've introduced to you the concept of base pace or conversational pace running, a pace at which you are able to maintain a conversation while you're running, which essentially is, if you're not able to do that, reduce pace or walk in between so that you are able to maintain that. Nail that. It'll take some time. It doesn't happen just like that. It will take some time. Don't get frustrated. Yesterday's conversational pace is different from today. Last season's conversational pace will be different from this season. Just go with the pure definition of conversational pace and nail it. It'll take some time. Keep trying, keep at it, 80%, 90% of it, and finally you'll reach a stage where you are in the zone conversational pace running. Okay? With that, congratulations again for completing the warm-up portion of season 13. 2 weeks is done. Based on my last message, another 7 days, you get into a habit forming zone, which is 3 weeks, 21 days of doing the same thing, and we'll go from there. Congratulations, guys, and all the very best. I'll see you soon next week. Take care.